All right, let's get this live thing going, and then we're going to go ahead and get started in just a moment. By the way, if you have specific questions that you'd like me to cover, be sure to hit, just put it in the comments. I'll be monitoring that as we go through it, and I'll have a live Q&A in the end as well. Okay, that's cool. We are live. All right, everybody's here. Let us go into full screen. And let me share this. Boom. All right. So today I'm really excited to have all you guys here. We're going to be covering 3 SaaS growth strategies to accelerate your path to 10 million ARR and beyond. So that's my promise to you. I'm going to walk you through my 3 SaaS growth strategies. And if you actually follow them, you will be able to get to that unstoppable 10 million ARR level. And we'll talk about why that 10 million ARR level is just so important, so powerful, why it's such an important stage. All the principles that I'll be sharing here come from about 15 years of being in the SaaS industry. I've been a SaaS founder. I've been a venture-backed CEO of a SaaS business. I've been a senior executive at a SaaS business. It's across multiple SaaS businesses. So that's where all of this comes from. All the principles that I'm going to be teaching you also come out of my SaaS go-to-market program. My SaaS go-to-market program is for SaaS founders. We help you navigate the path from some revenue all the way to 10 million ARR. Now, there's specific awards that we have inside of the program. It's a ton of fun. It's really exciting. We have our Million ARR Club for people that we help get to the million ARR mark. We have our Unstoppable Club for people that we get to the 3 million mark. And we have our Unstoppable X Club. These are the people that we get to your 10 million ARR mark. So we want to be part of that journey. That's what we specialize in the program. And some of these principles that I'm going to be walking you through, I actually cover inside of the program in much greater detail. So settle in and stick around if you're a B2B SaaS startup founder. Also settle and stick around if you've got some revenues, but need a scalable way to grow. You're focused on accelerating your path to the next stage of growth. There's 3 inflection points that I look at. You've got some revenue. You want to get to $1 million. You're already at $1 million. You want to get to 3 million, or you're 3 million. You want to get to 10 million. So also stick around if you're in a nascent space and your ideal customers don't quite recognize the need for what your product does yet, but you know it's going to be huge. So stick around. This is for you. Or if you're in a super crowded space and you need to find a way to rise above the competition, this is also for you. We're going to be covering those things. Also, I just want to say, leave this webinar now. I want to make sure I don't waste your time. So this is really for founders that really want to make their sales and marketing work. This is for founders that want to embrace sales and marketing. This is for founders that want to build their one sales funnel, one growth engine. So if you feel like sales and marketing is beneath you as founder CEO, you want nothing to do with it, I don't want you to waste your time. You're not going to get a lot of value from this webinar. If you'd rather outsource your sales and marketing and just focus on the tech, this is not for you. I don't believe that's an effective way to build a SaaS business. You got to learn how to actually embrace sales and marketing. You cannot just outsource it to an agency and hope that they figure out. You just can't do that at this stage. It does not work. Also, if you don't have a product yet in the market, you don't have a product that you're actually building out, you may not get value here. So we have a separate program, our SaaS school program, where we actually help you build your SaaS product from scratch. You can go to tkkader.com/SaaS-school. This is really for people that have had a product, have some revenues. And lastly, if you get annoyed, if I give you 45 minutes of the strategy that's helped me build my own SaaS businesses, and I tell you more about our go-to-market program all the way to the end, if you get offended by that, I want to be fully transparent. I don't want to piss anyone off. Just FYI, I'll be doing that. Now, if you do stay till the end, I will do a couple of things. I'll do a live Q&A session. I'll send over a copy of my slides. And one winner will get early access to my next book called Ship Code, Close Deals, Field Notes on How to Build a SaaS Business. So this is my book that's coming up. I'm seriously excited about it. You'll get a free copy of my upcoming book once it's ready to go live. All right, so with all that out of the way, let's dig in. Who's excited to dig in? If you're excited to dig in, hit me with a yes in the chat. Quick intro on me. If you are new to our Unstoppable community, I run this YouTube channel called Unstoppable. We help SaaS founders get to the next stage of growth. My background is I've always built startups and built SaaS businesses. My first business was called HipCow. I co-founded it with a set of amazing co-founders. We sold it to Plaxo. This was during college. Then I worked at Bridgewater, one of the best hedge funds. Then I started my own company, ToutApp, a SaaS business that was in the sales engagement space. We're backed by Andreessen Horowitz. Then we sold ToutApp to Marketo. It was backed by Vista, one of the best PE firms. and then help sell Marketo to Adobe. I served there as SVP of strategy, and I helped them sell it to Adobe for $4.75 billion. Now I'm on a mission to help you as a startup founder become unstoppable. That's what I focus on. So let's dig into the content. I want to get into my 3 strategies, but let me just explain why 10 million is such an important level for a SaaS business. So Jason Lemkin, who's one of the godfathers of SaaS, said, if you can get to 10 million ARR with positive revenue retention, you can indeed get to 300 million ARR. In fact, the odds might even be seen as high. So this is why I'm just obsessed with the stage of going from 0 to some revenue to $1 million, million to 3 million, so that you can get to 10 million ARR. So wherever you are in this journey, $10 million is a really great goal, because once you get to that level, it just opens up a world of opportunities of growth, exit scenarios, fundraising scenarios for your SaaS business. So Jason Lemkin talked about this, and he explains why. He explains like, well, look, once you get to 10 million, your overall SaaS market will just continue to grow, because that's what SaaS does. You'll likely 5x your market share over the next 5 years, because you're probably at a very small market share as it is, even at 10 million. You'll find a way to 3x your average deal sizes over time, because most do. This is out of a blog post of his. And lastly, if you have net negative churn, your accounts will grow dramatically over time. Net negative churn compounds. All of these make up to the reason of, if you can get to 10 million ARR, it's almost like, oh my God, everything becomes so much better for your SaaS business. So many options open up. This is why I'm obsessed with the 0 to 10 million path and helping you get to 10 million as fast as possible. And so as you go through these different inflection points in your SaaS business, there are different areas to focus on. When you're going from 0 to some revenues, you really focus on product and market. How do you get the right market? How do you get the right product? Is there a fit? Can you get some revenues? Can you just get your friends that are in that target market to actually buy? Once you have some revenues, you're building a growth engine. That's when you want to get to 1 million. You build your growth engine so you can get to 1 million. Once you get to 1 million, you're trying to get to 3 million. And then from 3 million to 10 million, the game becomes, how do you double down on one growth engine? Most founders, and I made the same mistake, think they need to spin up more things. In reality, you need to double down on your one growth engine. That's where the power really comes. How do I know this? Well, I did some research into this, because after I exited ToutApp, after Marketo, I was like, I want to help startup founders. Where do they go wrong? And I was shocked to find these stats. Only 4% of startups graduate from the seed stage these days. What that means, this was an analysis done by TopTal. The original source data came from Wing and PitchBook. And if you look at it, back at 2010, nearly 8 to 10% of seed startups, companies that raise seed, actually went on to raise a Series A. Today, this looks at 2017. I bet it's gone down even more. Only 4% of startups graduate from the seed stage, meaning they don't go on to raise any more money. On top of that, the bar for a Series A is higher than ever. And this is true for subsequent rounds as well. It used to be that less than 2% of companies actually generated consistent revenues when they raised a Series A. Nowadays, nearly 60 to 70% of companies have to be generating consistent revenues. And if the Series A bar is so high, you can start to understand how the bar for Series B and Series C is higher than ever. They want consistent, predictable revenue generating models. They want to see a growth engine that's actually working. So revenue becomes more and more and more important as you go, and the mortality rate is incredibly high. So the question becomes, where do founders go wrong, right? Where do founders actually go wrong? What it turns out is, for those 96% of companies that just didn't work out, it's not like they didn't do all the right things when it comes to sales and marketing, right? They got the cool name, they got the logo, they got the slick website, they did the blog, they did the social profiles, they did the ads, they did the MVP of the full product, they did SEO, they did a press release, they even raised $3 million. You can do all of those things and still end up with not enough traction, no clear product market fit, no insights, and in the dead zone. And on top of that, if you keep spinning up on more of these things, once you get to 1 million, once you get to 3 million, if you don't hone in on your growth engine, you can still end up in the dead zone because you're trying too many things, you're too scattered, and the compounding growth just doesn't kick in. To add one more to this and then we'll get into the actual 3 strategies to actually accelerate your growth instead of die. This is this was a research that was done by CB Insights based on 101 startup postmortems. And what they wanted to find was, what were the top 20 reasons startups fail? And in case you can't notice the pattern here, overwhelming number of these reasons have something to do with sales and marketing. No market need, they didn't get the market figured out properly. Poor marketing, ignored customers. The business model wasn't quite right in terms of their sales and marketing. They got outcompeted because they couldn't market it. Like all of these things ultimately tie not so much into the product, but a lot more into their sales and marketing and their positioning and their growth engine. This is why I'm obsessed with how to figure out how to help startup founders go from some revenues to 10 million ARR with one growth engine, one unstoppable sales funnel. Are you guys getting this? So the question becomes, if founders are doing all of these things, where do they go wrong? Like if they're checking off all these boxes on the things that they're supposed to do, right? These are all things they're supposed to do, and yet it still doesn't work. Where do they go wrong? Why is this the case? Well, there are a few obvious reasons. You're not differentiated enough. It's not easy enough. They just don't understand what you're trying to do. You're positioning it the wrong way. They don't trust you. It's just not important enough. Or you're just talking to the wrong people. You have this technology and you're not positioning it to the right people. It's not important or urgent enough for them. But if you ask why on all of those seemingly obvious reasons, it really comes down to you don't really build that growth engine. Meaning you try a whole bunch of sales and marketing activities, but you don't have one growth engine. You don't have that one unstoppable sales funnel. And this is another way to think about what essentially happens, right? This is a 2x2, and I love 2x2s because it takes really complicated ideas and explains it to you in a really easy way, right? So on the left here is the number of sales and marketing activities. Like, are you doing 3 posts a week? Are you running ads? Are you on LinkedIn or Twitter? Are you doing YouTube videos? Are you doing all these activities? And on the bottom is the number of growth engines, number of messaging, number of segments you're going after, number of ICPs you have, right? So in the early days, you're not doing a lot on sales and marketing. You're focusing on product, and you're pretty scattered in terms of the number of growth engines that you have, the messaging you're trying, the segments you're going at. You're just trying to catch something, which is kind of what's needed. As you go from 0 to 1, you start to move towards a higher number of sales and marketing activities because you're like, we need more people looking at this product. And we need to try a bunch of different messages. And you start to try a bunch of stuff and you see what doesn't work and you start to get a little bit more focused. Once you get to 1 million, then you start to actually amp up the activities even more. Maybe you hire marketing, maybe you hire sales. And also you try to go after more market share. You try to say, let's try more messaging. Let's do more webinars, right? Now, there's a turn in the road. A lot of founders think that they actually need to just amp up on the number of activities, go up this way, but stay scattered on their messaging. Now, they don't mean to be scattered, but because they want to go take over the world, they think we need to go after all these personas. We need to go after all these ideal customers. We need to try these messaging. Let's try our new lead magnet. Let's run more ads. Let's do all of these things. And what ends up happening is you stay scattered with a lot of activity. But here's the pro tip. The secret here is that in order to go from 1 million to 3 million, 3 million to 10 million, you need to keep amping up and scaling up your activities, but you need to get more and more focused on your specific target market. The secret here is in order to get to 10 million, it's not to do a billion more things. It's to hone in on the things that matter the most and double down on it and scale those activities. And that's what I mean by coalescing into one growth engine. Are you guys getting this? Does this make sense? Hit me with a yes if this is making sense. If you have questions, post the questions. I'll be sure to get to them as we go further into the presentation. So this is where, in order to get to this one growth engine and to get to 10 million ARR, you actually need to get much more focused. You need to coalesce into one growth engine. You need to get the messaging to one core message, one core ICP. That's the secret. That's what we help you do in the program. And this is a framework that I developed. I use this at ToutApp. I've seen this used in countless other places. What does a growth engine actually entail? What does a working sales and marketing machine actually entail? This is the framework that I teach, and I've got so many videos on this. You essentially need to hone in on your ideal customer. You need to figure out what your macro trends are. You need to create a manifesto, and then you need to run one Broadway show. Now, this may feel a little foreign to you, so I'm going to actually dig into each of these concepts through the 3 secrets I'm going to share for you. So are you guys ready for this? This is why you showed up. You want to know the 3 secrets to accelerate growth beyond just the fact that you need one growth engine? You might be like, okay, one growth engine. What does that mean? How does that? That's why these 3 secrets come in. These 3 secrets will teach you how to coalesce into the one growth engine that you need, how to actually get more focused, how to actually amp up the number of activities in a leveraged way. Does that make sense? If you guys are with me, let me just check in on our YouTube friends over here. Okay, I'm getting a bunch of yeses. Okay, cool. Everybody's on. All right, so if you're with me, let's keep going. Hit me with a yes, and and by the way, if you're watching this on YouTube, we do a video on building and scaling SaaS businesses every Sunday, every Wednesday, and every Friday. So if you're new and you're a SaaS founder, we help you get to the next stage of growth. So be sure to hit that subscribe button and that bell icon. Also, if you are enjoying this and getting value so far and you're excited to dig into the 3 secrets, go ahead and smash that like button on YouTube. That means the world to me and my team. With that said, let's dig in. So the 3 secrets I'm going to walk you through is the first secret is, I'm going to go into detail on each of these. You actually need to think about your initial customer profile as you get to 10 million versus your ideal customer profile. I know it's counterintuitive. I'm going to dig more into it. The second is you need to actually think about your strategic narrative and your manifesto. Meaning you actually need to revamp what your strategic narrative is. And we'll dig more into that and what that means. I know, fancy words. Number 3 is you need 1 Broadway show versus scattered marketing and sales activities. All right. So let's go into secret number 1. You guys excited? Secret number 1 is you need to hone in on your ICP. Here's the thing. And this is the first component of your unstoppable sales funnel, your 1 growth engine. Amazon started by selling books online. Now they sell everything to everyone, everywhere. Now, people forget this, but when Amazon started, no one actually bought things online. Very few people actually bought things online. But they started by, and not only that, they didn't buy books. Like people wanted to go to bookstores and feel the books and then buy them. But they said, we're going to sell books online. The blasphemous part was they were selling stuff online, and on top of they were selling books. That was crazy for them. That was their initial customer profile. They wanted to find people that were willing to shop online and were looking for books. Now they sell everything to everyone, everywhere. And this is something that you have to actually own. You have to understand that you need to think about your initial customer profile. Now you might be saying, like, you know what, TK, like I want to go take over the world. We're going to be huge. So many people can use our software. I get it. I understand. But consider this. This is a blog post that was written nearly 6 years ago by Connor Murphy, but it's really stayed with me. And I share this with all the founders I work with in the go-to-market program. The vision wasn't Normandy. The vision was Berlin. What that means is during the World War, they weren't storming Normandy because they wanted to take over some random beach in northern France, right? Their vision was to disrupt the whole world and change history. But they had to start with Normandy. And that's what you need to ask yourself. This is what Connor said so aptly. What is your Normandy and what is your Berlin? And yes, your ideal customer could be massive. There's so many people that could use it. But the trick here is to find out your initial customer profile, find your Normandy. And if you can bake that into your growth engine and focus your team, your sales team, your marketing team, your product team on that core initial customer profile, then you earn the right to actually expand from there. And people think that at the 3 million ARR mark, you need to actually go after way more use cases, way more ideal customers. But that's not true, because realistically at the 3 million ARR mark, if your TAM is big enough, you're at 0.0001% of your total addressable market. What you really need to be doing is strengthening all of that and getting more of those people to get to 10. Even at 10, you're probably at a fraction of your true total addressable market. This is why it's so important to hone in on your ideal customer profile. That's growth strategy number 1. The secret to your next stage of growth is to zoom in and double down on what is working. And that starts with your ideal customer profile. Otherwise, I call it your initial customer profile. Why do I call it that? Conquer them first, and then you earn the right to go after more. If you've gotten literally everyone in your initial customer profile on your platform and you're 10 million ARR or beyond, then you can expand. You guys getting this? Does this make sense? So how do you think about your ICP? Now, ICP has some standard definition. You might be saying, yeah, I get it, ICP. Here's the thing that I teach in the program. I walk you throughout actually how to create your ICP. You can look at your firmographic, demographic, psychographic, behavior, all that. I get it. Those are the basics. But what we really get you to do is figure out in your ideal customer world, who are the initial customers that have money to spend, has the problem where it's immediate, it's urgent and important, and it's kind of an early adopter because you probably don't have all the security reviews passing yet, right? The niches are where the riches are, right? And so you really got to figure out, if your ICP doesn't make you a little uncomfortable, that means you're not actually getting your initial customer profile. You're still thinking too broad. And if you don't get to a very specific group of people, you're not going to succeed. How do you figure out if all these three things work? We teach you this thing in the program. It's called How Do You Find Macro Trends? I'm not going to go into that here, but there's a specific way to really get into your initial customer profile. If there's one thing you want to ask yourself is if it doesn't make you a little uncomfortable, you're like, this might be too small, then it's not initial enough. And you need to get to that level of discomfort, because here's the thing, it's your initial. No one's going to hold a gun to your head 6 months from now. Once you've conquered all of them, you can always expand from there. What's important is you nail all of those first. Are you guys getting this? So that's secret number one. You got to get your ICP right. Secret number two is you got to get one strategic narrative. Okay. What do I mean by that? Let me ask you a question, right? You're at a cocktail party. We just met and I say, hey, what do you do? Right? What does your startup do? And you give me an answer. You give me your spiel. Now, let me ask you this. Let's analyze your answer for a second. How long did it go for? Was it a 30-second answer? Was it a one-liner? Was it a 3-minute? Are you still talking right now? Like, are you still answering right now? Like, how concise is your answer for what do you do? It's a simple question, right? It's a simple question. You don't really know what I do. I'm not a VC. You don't know if I'm a VC or a potential customer or a nobody, like, or a Luddite, like, but you have an answer. How long is your answer, right? Let's analyze that for a second. Let's just assume for a second that's for an actual prospect of yours, someone that should be buying your platform. Let me ask. Is your answer sufficient enough where they pay attention long enough to listen to the answer? Do they actually pay attention, or do they lose interest? Do they care after they listen to it? Do they understand it? Do they truly understand what you do and why you matter? Do they feel that it is differentiated enough? They probably get pitched all day long. Is it differentiated enough? I want you to ask yourself these questions as you think about your answer to what do you do? Also, after listening to it, do they feel compelled to take action now? Meaning they're like, oh my God, like give me your card, or we need to get on a call. Oh my God, I need it, right? That is the bar. And you have to pass through your strategic narrative. Your answer needs to pass through all of these gates. They need to pay attention long enough to listen. They need to care after it. They need to understand it. They need to feel it's differentiated enough. And they need to feel compelled. They're like, this is so urgent and important. I need to talk to you now. Are you guys getting this? So the question is, do you have that one strategic narrative? Now, this compounds on each other, right? If you have multiple ICPs and you have a very wide group of people you're going after, it's hard to get one strategic narrative for that wide group of people. But if you narrow it down, your one strategic narrative becomes a lot easier to say. I had this at ToutUp. We used to do fixed email for everybody, but then we shifted to salespeople in high growth technology companies. And all of a sudden, our strategic narrative went from copy and paste to so 1990s and email productivity for the win to something very specific. We help you follow up on your leads and ensure that you get the 8 touches in to convert to an opportunity. And every salesperson were like, oh my God, I don't get 8 touches in. It takes 8 touches to convert to an opportunity. I do 1 or 2 and then I forget. You guys automated for me. I need it. I need that. And people would literally take my card and sign up because they needed that. Are you guys getting this? And so your one strategic narrative needs to be developed. That's your strategy secret number 2 after your ICP. You need to codify it into what I call your manifesto. We did this at ToutUp. We had our 7 actionable tips to better emails for salespeople. How to write kick-ass sales emails is what we called it. And every salesperson loved it. This was done at Marketo too. With Marketo, when they were doing the 2-year transformation, Steve Lucas, our CEO, was like, we need to up-level the messaging. And our messaging was, you got to engage. It's not about blasting emails. It's value over volume. And all of a sudden, every marketer was like, yeah, value over volume. I want to engage. He wrote a whole book on it, which was incredible. I have my own manifesto even now for my SaaS businesses, right? I have my book coming out, Ship Code, Close Deals. It's a manifesto on a very differentiated way to actually scale SaaS businesses. Are you guys getting this? So I want you to ask yourself, what's your strategic narrative? Do you have one? Will it pass this test? Will people actually get it? Now, in the program, we teach you how to actually create a narrative, how to create what we call your manifesto. And I didn't invent this. This has been the hero's journey has been a thing that's a construct for thousands of years. This is your ideal customer. They want to get to this promised land, right? And they have certain obstacles. The best strategic narratives, the best manifestos are crafted in a very specific way where the hero feels understood, where they can see the opportunity that's ahead of them, where they can understand the risks that are ahead, and where they can actually follow a plan to get to the promised land. When you can actually craft your strategic narrative and your manifesto in this way, anytime you're in front of a customer, you're going to pass this test. They will pay attention. They will care because it's tied to where they want to go. They will understand it. They will feel that it is differentiated, and they'll feel compelled to take action now because they want to get to the promised land. They want to get over these obstacles. So my question to you is, do you have a strategic narrative, right? You got to nail that. By the way, it is impossible to get a strategic narrative down unless you really hone in on your ideal customer profile. So unless you do secret number one, you won't be able to do secret number two. It'll be really hard. But what most people do is stay really wide on their ICP, have multiple strategic narratives, and then they actually don't know how to run their sales and marketing, which is why they end up all over the place. And they end up neither here nor there. Are you guys getting this? And so when you think about your unstoppable sales funnel, your one growth engine, you got your ICP, which we talked about. They have macro trends, and then you have your manifesto. That's secret number two. So secret number three, let's talk about, so once you have your ICP, once you have your manifesto, what do? Right? So let me ask you a question. You probably have sales and marketing right now, right? Maybe you own it. Maybe you have a couple of people. Maybe you have a CMO. Regardless of that, remember what I told you? 96% of startups don't even graduate from the seed stage, but yet they do all these things. They get the cool name, awesome.io. They get the logo. They get the slick website. They do blog. They do social profiles. They do ads, MVP. They do SEO. They do press releases, but yet still they fail, right? So let me ask you a question. How often are you coming out with a new lead magnet? How about a new webinar? Are you doing a fresh webinar every week or every month? Are you posting a new blog post? Did you hire like a content person to actually do thought leadership? Are you like posting on LinkedIn? Are you running Facebook ads? Are you on Twitter? Are you doing YouTube videos once a week? Are you cold emailing? Are you doing outbound? What about events? Are you sponsoring booths and giving out the brochures and giving the demos? What about PR? Are you announcing your thought leadership on PR? And are you running webinars, right? And also out of these, like which ones are you like, oh, I was going to talk to my team and figure out how to spin this up soon so we can grow more. Here's the thing. What you're essentially doing is creating a brand. And Russell, I learned this from Russell Brunson, incredible genius marketer. What you're doing is essentially running a brand new Broadway show every week. And you're trying to do all these activities. You're trying to come up with fresh content, fresh messaging. You're trying to get through all these channels and you're trying to see what catches. And for the average startup founder, you're doing this for multiple ideal customers with scattered messaging, and you're trying to do it across all these channels. So can you think about, like, do you think that's a good strategy? So that's my third secret for you. My third secret for you here is the secret to growing faster is to coalesce into one growth engine with one high value ICP, with one core strategic message and manifesto. And you got to take that manifesto. You just got to run one great Broadway show every week. One great Broadway show every week. Because let's just say in your ideal customer profile, there are 1,000 companies. 1,000 companies will get you 10 million ARR, right? Probably way more. Let's just say you have 1,000 companies, right? Now, what do you want to do? Do you want to just keep coming out with brand new stuff every week and it's mediocre to get to that only 1,000 people? Or do you want to take your core message, your core manifesto, and just find a way to get in front of those a new set of people that are part of that 1,000 people every week? Which one do you think will be better? So this is where the Broadway show comes in. You build one Broadway show using all of this, and you just run that every week. And every week you work to attract those people into your one amazing Broadway show, which starts with your ICP and your core messaging and your manifesto, and then you have your Broadway show. I run a Broadway show every week. We run a Broadway show every week at ToutApp. You do 1 to 3 posts that talks about my manifesto. I link to my manifesto. People sign up. They either get invited to a webinar or they come on a strategy call or a sales call. And from there, we operate the 2 levers that matter the most. You either ship code or you close deals. You keep doing it over and over and over, but it stems from that one manifesto, that strategic narrative. You guys getting this? Doesn't this make a ton of sense? Now, I'll give you one bonus secret. One bonus secret is you may be in a space where you're like, you know what, my competitors are way more funded, or my competitors are the big guys, or my competitors are just like way ahead of us, right? Here's something that I learned from the folks over at 37 Signals, which is now Basecamp. Instead of trying to outspend, outsell, or outsponsor competitors, try to outteach them. This is one extra feature of this whole thing. When you create that manifesto, when you create that Broadway show, what you're really doing is teaching people this brand new way of solving their problem. And if you can get out there and really take on a teaching mindset, then it no longer becomes about pushy selling or cheesy marketing. It becomes you're serving this group of people and they're going to be compelled to work with you. When you have one growth engine that's an unstoppable sales funnel, you'll be armed with a message that you can use to actually out-teach your competition and rise above. So those are my 3 secrets. Let me recap them. So the thing I promised you was how to use my 3 SaaS growth strategies to accelerate your path to the unstoppable 10 million ARR level. And really the 3 strategies is what I call my unstoppable sales funnel, right? Those are the key components to it. So when you use an unstoppable sales funnel, you build this one unstoppable sales funnel, you actually can accelerate your path to the unstoppable 10 million ARR level for your SaaS business. The first secret is get your ICP down. Make sure it makes you uncomfortable, right? And think of it as your initial instead of your ideal. Number 2, get your strategic narrative down. That's your manifesto. And once you have your ICP and your manifesto, then run one Broadway show versus scattering across all different activities and getting overwhelmed because it doesn't work. Run one Broadway show to keep attracting those people out of your initial customer profiles. Once you get to 10 million ARR, expand your profile, right? And as you learn more, keep honing in on what works the best. Are you guys getting this? And the one bonus thing, approach all of this with a teaching mindset instead of just a spending mindset or outspending mindset or outselling mindset. And all of this is possible if you just adopt this framework of an unstoppable sales funnel. Doesn't this look a lot more understandable now? I showed you this in the beginning, but you were probably like, what is this? But now you get it. You have your ICP. The ICP has certain macro trends. You create your manifesto, right? You take that manifesto and you run your Broadway show every week to your ICP and you keep closing more deals. You no longer get distracted with confusing messaging. You no longer get distracted with like, can this person buy or not? You know exactly why they should be buying and must be buying. You have the strategic narrative for it and you can mobilize everyone in your organization. And you just work on the channels where you can attract as many of these ICPs as possible. Keep running your Broadway show and everything starts to work well. So let me ask you a question. What would it take for you to actually implement an unstoppable sales funnel? You're here on this webinar and you're still watching likely because you're in this stage. You have some revenues and you're on your path. You want to get to that unstoppable 10 million ARR level. Maybe you're at $1 million ARR or 3 million. Maybe you're at a few 100,000, right? And you're seeing like, look, I need one growth engine. I need my unstoppable sales funnel. So you might be asking like, well, how do I do this? So let me ask you a question. All right. You learn a ton of stuff on why this stuff works, right? You totally get it. And this is all proven, right? I've used this myself. In fact, you're in my Broadway show right now. If you're watching this, this is my manifesto. Unstoppable Sales Funnel is my manifesto. The fact that you need one growth engine is my manifesto to my clients, right? You're in it right now. You can see how this works so well. So let me ask you, if you committed to implementing these 3 growth strategies, right? What would your life and startup look like 3 months from now? If you really call us on one growth engine, this unstoppable sales funnel, you really honed in on the ICP, your strategic messaging, and you ran this Broadway show. Well, where would you be 3 months from now? How much time will you personally have saved in wasting time on the wrong marketing and sales activities and getting confused and making mistakes? How much time would you have saved? How many more deals would you have won because you go into these calls with clear messaging? You're not all over the place anymore. How much faster could you reach your next stage of growth, right? Also, let me ask you this. If you could actually accelerate your growth and get to that next stage faster, how would this impact your next fundraise if you're fundraising? If you're bootstrapped, could you get to profitability faster, right? How would this impact how you feel about yourself? Like I've been a startup founder. I'm in fact a startup founder now. And this is a very personal thing. The success of our business in a lot of ways is tied to our own personal worth. Like it or not, like there's lots of gurus that'll tell you like, oh, it's not, and I work hard on it, but it is. When the business does well, we do great. When it doesn't, like we hurt. So how would it impact you? And what would this mean for your startup and your employees, right? If you actually nailed this. So there are a couple of things that come into this, right? If you were to say, I want to adopt an unstoppable sales funnel, number one, how will you actually build out your ideal customer profile and really hone in on the most ripe target market? Even if it feels uncomfortable. Is someone going to hold you accountable, give you the framework to do that properly? Number two, how will you develop your strategic narrative? So it's not just another lead magnet on the feed, but it's a set of words that immediately captures the attention of your ideal customers. They're like, oh my God, how did they get in my inner narrative right here? Number three, how will you sift through all the sales and marketing activities that you have and focus on the most impactful pieces. So you build one unstoppable sales funnel, right? How will you actually do that? And also, who will you talk with to navigate the strategic questions that come up? There's some strategic questions that'll come up. Do we go after this ICP or this ICP? Is this the big transformation or is this the transformation? But what do we say in the manifesto so they really feel like this is important and urgent, right? You need a thought partner for that as well. Those are some strategic questions that you'll need to answer. This is why I created my go-to-market program. So my question to you is, if you're willing to do this, how many of you are like, I need to build my one growth engine. I need to actually do this. Hit me with a yes in the comments below. If while you're at it, smash that like button because it means the world to us. So let me ask you a question. What if you had help, right? I wish I had more help when I was doing this. I had to do a lot of trial and error. I was conflicted with 50 different pieces of advice. There were people that said they knew it, but they never done it before. It was a mess. So what if you had help? What if you had a step-by-step framework you can follow to develop your ideal customer profile, your manifesto, and your Broadway show? What if you had direct access to me, TK, to help you navigate building your growth strategy and your one unstoppable sales funnel? What if you had that thought partner where I can come in and say, hey man, like, this doesn't make you uncomfortable. Are you sure this is specific enough? Or we can think about the possibilities around your strategic narrative. What if you had a thought partner around this? What if you also had a mastermind of other SaaS founders who are navigating the same journey and working through similar challenges? I loved being in rooms with other SaaS founders in the same stage because I could learn so much from them. Also commiserate, but that's one of the things that was so powerful. And number 4, what if you also got the templates and the training that will help you adopt this quickly and save you from making costly mistakes, right? What if you actually followed the templates and the blueprint? So this is not theory. I use this in my own businesses. Now I help my clients. I've done it with my one-on-one clients, and now I wanted to make a greater impact. So now I do this with my group clients, my SaaS go-to-market program. So this method is time-tested and proven. And to this day, we're using these methods and systems in my own legion of unstoppable startup founders. So if you're thinking like, all right, I'm ready, where do I start? You literally just have 2 very clear options at this point, right? You can do it yourself. You can take all the concepts in this, and this is recorded, so you can rewind it and look at it. You can go research it, and you can find answers to those questions through the infiniteness of the internet. You can figure it out yourself. Or you can follow the proven path to success, right? And this is why I created my go-to-market program. When we work together, nothing is held back. I will be your thought partner. I will be your coach. If you decide to work with me, you're not going to miss any steps. You just need to follow my lead step by step. At the end of the day, I'm on a mission to help SaaS founders become unstoppable. And that's why I have this awards. Remember, we have the Millionaire Club, the Unstoppable Club, and the Unstoppable X Club. Like, I am seriously in this to win it with you. So I'll guide you through building your unstoppable sales funnel so you can transform your go-to-market motion, so you can build out one growth engine and get to that next stage of growth. That's what this is all about. And the power in this is that it's a program that really lays out what you need, right? In this program, I'm going to give you the 3 steps that you need. 1, you can clarify your ideal customer profile. Number 2, you're going to build your strategic narrative. And number 3, you can build and run your sales funnel. I'm going to walk you through all 3 of these and make sure you have the support, coaching, and the systems you need to adopt this to build your one growth engine, your unstoppable sales funnel, and accelerate your path to the next stage of growth. And best of all, you can implement all of this as fast as you want. We've made it so you can go as fast as you want. You can pace yourself. It just depends on you. Now, you'll also get the training, the blueprints, and the coaching, right? You get access to all of my training. You get access to my SaaS training library. You get access to my mastermind. Also, I host a Wednesday group call where we all get together. That's our mastermind, where I do questions, and also you get one-on-one strategy calls if you want to opt for that option as well. So I will be your thought partner in this. And at the end of the day, look, I did my venture-backed business. I did my bootstrap business. I did my exits. This is my legacy business, right? I'm in it because of a number of deeper reasons. So I want the right clients, right? The better the fit, the more success you're going to have. So I want the right clients, which is why you can't just sign up for it. I go through a small call with you to understand where you are, who you are, whether we can work together. And then I tell you like, hey, all right, let's go do this if it makes sense, right? So how many of you want it? How many of you are like, I want to build my one growth engine. I want to build my one unstoppable sales funnel. I want to work with you, TK. Let's go like accelerate my path to growth. How many people want it? Just hit me with a yes. And if this sounds like you, you're welcome to just apply to join, right? Super easy. What I've done is I've set aside time in my calendar through the weekend because a lot of founders are like, I know how it is, you're swamped. So through the weekend, where over the next 3 days, I'll talk to you and we can get on a call and we can figure out if this is the right fit for you. The call is approximately 30 minutes. And my intention on the call is not to give you free advice or solve all this for you. It's to understand where you are and give you an honest answer if we can help you. And if we can, then we onboard you into the program. That's how it works. So if you're in and you're interested and you want to do this, go to tkkader.com/GTM. tkkader.com/GTM, super easy. It'll give you all the details on the program, and go ahead and smash that giant yellow button and it'll get us on a call. Once we get on a call, then we can figure out if you're the right fit, if I can help you, and then we take it from there. All right. So there's some frequent questions that I get. And by the way, if you guys have any questions, queue them up also. I'll cover the frequent questions that I get, and then we'll get into any other questions that are there. So frequent question, am I in the right stage of growth for this program? It's a great question. You're in the right stage of growth if you have some revenues. I use the word some because that's abstract enough. If you're still trying to figure out product market fit, if you don't have a product yet, this is not the right program for you. I have a separate program for really early people, a SaaS school. You can go to tkkader.com/SaaS-school. That program is for you. I have separate training for you. This program, this go-to-market program, is really for people that have some revenues and are trying to accelerate their path to the next stage of growth and need to build their one growth engine. That's who this is for. The second question I get is, how much access do I get to TK, or do I get some random team member? I have a very lean team. All interactions with founders are with me. Like, you get access to me. Now, we have 2 tiers of the program. If you're like earlier stage, we have a lower tier where it's purely group coaching. We have a group mastermind call, and you get on hot seats. We all learn from each other. You get the training. That's the lower tier. It just makes sense for earlier stage people. But I also have founders that are later stages. For them, they're like, look, TK, the group thing is fine, but I want to talk with you and I want to duke it out in terms of my strategy. And so we have a higher tier where, in addition to the group coaching, you also get one-on-ones with me as well. So it really depends on how much interaction you're looking to get. But believe me, you get plenty of interaction with me. You don't get handed off to some random coach that I quote unquote trained. This is me. You work with me. I work with you. That's how we do it. Another question I get is like, do I have enough time to do this? My time is already crazy. Here's what I tell you. This is going to take net negative time for you. What I mean by that is, you're going to need to build a growth engine anyway. So you're either going to go out there and hire a couple of mediocre people and try to figure it out and do some free advice and maybe go to some conferences and do some more research, make a bunch of costly mistakes, and that's time already you're going to spend. Instead, if you work with us, we give you the framework, we give you the coaching, and you focus that time to get more results. So this should take net negative time, because you're going to save time and you're going to avoid making costly mistakes, and you're going to get a framework. So that time we're going to reallocate for you to be more effective. So this shouldn't take any extra time. This is one of those things where the coaching will actually help you go faster. I also get a question, how much does it cost? For a variety of reasons, I don't put the price here, but here's what I'll tell you. We follow a value-based pricing. And one of the things I'll always say is like, look, this is an investment, but you should be able to make it back with one extra deal. If you make one extra deal by following, obviously you're going to get a lot more, right? We're building this to help you scale this a lot more, but you're going to make it more than back with just one extra deal. And depending on your deal sizes, this might be like nothing, or it might be like one extra deal. It just depends on the SaaS business you're at. But that's how I would think about it. And we cover the pricing in the call. We just don't put it out there. It's just there's no need for it. But if you can get one extra deal, you'll more than make your money back, is how I've priced this program. Okay. So lastly, one other thing I'll say is, look, here's what I know to be true. I would not be where I am today without investing and working with the people who were where I wanted to be, right? Coaching works. Having a framework is helpful. Like if you're an engineer, I'm an engineer, right? Like, and I learned to embrace sales and marketing. I love frameworks. Frameworks stop me from writing plumbing code. I love libraries. Like, all of those things were super valuable for me because it allowed me to focus on my core engine. And this is what this program is designed to do. So if that's you, go to tkkader.com/GTM. The other thing that I'll tell you is, like, one of the big reasons I built this program is because as a founder, I realized pretty quickly that I needed to embrace sales and marketing. That was part of my job as CEO, right? And so I went from this guy that was like an engineer at a hedge fund who just shipped code to someone that learned how to ship code and close deals. And as a CEO, as a founder, that's the thing that you need to get really comfortable with. You're either shipping code or you're closing deals. And a lot of founders over-index on shipping code and doesn't do enough in closing deals. There's also a lot of founders that aren't technical. They're sales-driven, marketing-driven founders, and they don't put enough effort into closing and shipping code. You need both. Those are the two levers. You need to be able to do both. And that's something that you really get in this program. We teach you how to really transform to be CEO. The other thing is, look, I'm not some marketing intern that said, oh, I want to build a course on building SaaS. I've done it. Like literally, I've gone through the journey of building SaaS businesses. And I've gone through the journey of this stage. This is the stage that I've done and done it well. And I've learned through twists and turns in the road. And that's why I'm passionate about this. So I've gone through that journey, which is why I have the credibility to create this program. And I'm also like, I just really like doing it. It's amazing. It's amazing to work with SaaS founders. So that's you. Go to tkkader.com/GTM and book some time. And lastly, I'll remind you with the stat, 96% of startups fail to graduate from the seed stage. Well, it costs you if you don't arm yourself with as much help as possible, right? It's hard enough. You want to get as many advantages, as many unfair advantages in your side as possible. This is an unfair advantage. So join the SaaS go-to-market program. Go ahead and go to tkkader.com/GTM. You can look at all the details, hit that giant yellow button. You just have to answer a couple of questions. We'll get on a call. And once we get on a call, one-on-one, it's with me. It's fairly quick. It's fairly efficient. I don't want to waste anyone's time. I'm sure you don't either. We'll just figure out if you're the right fit, and then we'll just get you on, right? It's as simple as that. All right, everybody. That's all I have for you today. Let me just double check on if there are any questions. Go to tkkader.com/GTM. Let's see, Q&A. Okay. One question that I got, would you advise focusing on something you know has a confirmed user base, or focus on something you're personally interested in but won't have many users down the road due to the specificity of the issue being addressed? Market trumps everything. I have a whole video on this. Market trumps everything. That's the most important thing. So go after the right market. If the market has an important and urgent need, that's what you should go after, versus like no one cares about what your personal requirements are, right? Like that's what I would say. And then we talk about this a lot in the program. Examples of companies that went through the plan. If you just email me, I'm happy to do client intros in terms of people that are going through the program. This is year one of the program, and so we're building out our client case studies. We do have success stories. Shoot me an email. I'm happy to introduce you as well. Or I'm happy to talk through it in the call. Okay, awesome. Well, I think that covers it, guys. This was a ton of fun. Hopefully you got value from this. I know I really enjoyed this afternoon with you guys to cover this. These are the 3 secrets we talked about, right? These are the 3 secrets. There we go. I really want to thank all of you guys for coming in today. Let me just turn this off. Thank you so much for joining. I really appreciate it. Now go to tkkader.com/GTM or just hit that button below and we can get on a call to figure out if you're the right fit. And at the end of the day, remember, everyone needs a strategy for their life and their business. And when you are with us, yours is going to be unstoppable. We drop a video on this channel every Sunday, Wednesday, and Friday to help you become unstoppable in your SaaS business and in your life. So be sure to hit that subscribe button and that bell icon so you get notified every single time I drop an episode with this TK energy. Also, lastly, if you got value from this video, please smash that like button. It'll mean the world to me and my team. We put a lot of effort into this content, into these videos, into these streams. This means the world to us. And hopefully I'll see you on a call in the program or on the next episode. All of them are great. Thank you, everybody. Have a great Friday. I'll talk to you later.